Hey there everyone, this is Julie Fortune4 here, and today, welcome to an Antimation, where I'll be telling you a story that happened over a year ago. I'm not going to tell you exactly how long ago it was, what grade I was in, or how old I was, but it took place when when I was in school. I'm still in school. I was in school at the time, at lunch. So at the time, we had to sit with whatever class we had after lunch. So I was sitting with my math class, because I had math after lunch. So for each class, there were two tables. There were actually four tables side by side, considered one table, and then the other one would be two put together, considered two tables. At each table, meaning like the smaller tables that make up the one big table, they could fit about maybe 8 people or so. I sat next to my friends, or some of my friends, because I had friends, which was my math class. So I'm not going to tell you their real names. I'm just going to say names that are for the same gender and that start with the same letter as their name. So go ahead, hunt down everyone that has that letter. You're not going to find them. So I sat next to my friend Christy, good friend Nina sat next to Christy, and then Anne, and then across from us sat Rick, Dominic, and Jay. So we were just sitting at lunch, and keep in mind, lunch wasn't very long, so I was quiet. I didn't want to talk because that's wasting time for eating. But yeah, so I don't usually have my music turned up that high, but this day I had my volume up pretty loud. I was probably listening to some nightcore music or something. And I was really tired because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because it is like so hot where I live. But every season is summer, so it was summer apparently. I wasn't out of it, but I was just tired. So I was eating my food, minding my own business, when all of a sudden Christy hands me a phone. And before I even have time to look at her and ask, whose phone is this? Why'd you hand me a phone? I was just holding the iPhone 5, and Rick starts attacking me. Like, he literally gets up around the table and starts attacking me in, like, 1 second. He was, like, attacking my arm, trying to get the phone, which now I know that it was his phone, out of my hand. But the way that he was holding on to the phone, he was holding my hand pressed up against the phone. He was, like, holding onto my hand in the same position I was holding the phone, because, I wasn't going to just throw the phone. Even when I was, like, trying to let go of the phone, I couldn't. Because it was like he was, like, gluing my hand to the phone with his hand. Just stupid. So, yeah, that happened. And this all happened in about 3 seconds. The administrator, who, like, was in charge of, like, lunch duty and stuff, and she made sure not to, like, we weren't babies, so she didn't, like, open, like, sandwich bags and stuff for us, but she kind of just made sure that we didn't kill each other, to us about announcements like, oh, student government's hosting an event, or get your t-shirts now. I don't know. She just did that. She comes up and she's like, hey, what's going on? And in a millisecond, the cafeteria, which had like probably about 50 other tables, probably over 300 or 400 people in there, all dropped to silent and just stared at us. And I was like, oh shoot. I had no idea what was going on. I was extremely confused. And she was like, hey, give him his phone back. So I do, because I wasn't intentionally stealing his phone. And yeah, so Rick takes his phone and walks over to his side of the table. And the administrator is pretty mad. So then after lunch, I asked Christy, I was like, hey, what happened? So she explained that Rick was annoying her, Nina, and Anne with his phone. I guess he was playing something, and like Dominic was like in on it too, apparently. And so Christy takes the phone from Rick and gives it to me because I have good grip apparently. Which, I do have pretty good grip, so I guess that would make sense. So she gives me the phone, and then Rick wants his phone back, so instead of asking me or saying, hey, Julie, give me my phone back, he goes around and he starts attacking my arm to get the phone out of my hand. Because logic! So, yeah, and the way that he was, like, holding his phone, it just, no. So, I was pretty mad at Christy, but I could tell that she felt bad. Obviously, she didn't mean for me to get in trouble, but I think I did get in trouble. No, but when the administrator, like, at lunch, like, when she, like, looked at, like, us and asked what happened, she wasn't looking at them. They were all, like, in the position, like, leaned back, like, away from me, like, oh, no, this isn't my fault, I have nothing to do with it. And none of them, like, answered what was going on, because it was obviously my fault. I don't blame her, the administrator, because it looked like it was my fault. I was the one holding the phone. They were all just kind of looking at me, and they didn't say anything, so obviously they didn't know, and when I didn't say anything, it meant I obviously knew what was going on, so yeah, did that for not getting the full story, administrator. But no, I still felt pretty bad. So I wrote her a note in my neatest handwriting when I was in math class. And I know this isn't in very neat handwriting, because I literally wrote it with my finger. But yeah, so it was like, sorry, this is all my fault. I didn't mean to do it. I'll never do anything like this again. Christy and I are sorry. She did hand me the phone, but I should have let go, which was a complete lie because I tried to let go, but for the sake of the note, it made sense. So then a few days, I don't remember exactly what I said in the note, but I wrote it pretty formal, words, but I wrote it like so good. Like I was actually pretty proud of it. It looked like some like professional note to like the president or something about stealing someone's phone, even though I didn't technically steal it, but I made it look like it was my fault so my friend didn't get in trouble because I'm a nice friend. Yeah, you're welcome, Christy. But yeah, so I give her the note a few days later. She's like talking to someone at lunch, like another like teacher or whatever. So I say, hey, administrator, which I call her by her name. Let's just say her name is Miss Green. I'm like, hey, Miss Green, I have something for you. And then I gave her the note, I set it on the table, and I ran away. But I casually ran away, looking like I was just trying to get to class, because, I mean, I was, but I was more trying to run, because I didn't want her to read the note in front of me, because that's embarrassing. I never like people to, like, read, like, stuff in front of me that I wrote. Like, if I write someone a birthday card, like, I don't want them reading the birthday card when I'm still present. Like, do it tomorrow or something. But yeah, then in math that day, probably about halfway through the math class, she comes by and she like waves at me and gives me like a thumbs up and smiles like, all right, everything's all good. And that I was so relieved, but no one else saw her do that, like give me a thumbs up or smile or anything. I didn't even think that the teacher noticed. But yeah, so that was how I stole someone's phone, apparently, and it was all my fault, even though I had nothing to do with it and still had no idea, and then I was mad at Christy for months. But the main reason I was panicking was because I was planning on running for representative of the school, and I thought that would mess everything up, which I didn't win the election, spoiler, even though that's another video. Well, no, I just told the entire story. I didn't win. So yeah, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like these. Leave in the comments, have you ever had a similar situation to this where it looked like something was your fault, but it wasn't, and then you took the blame for your friends? If so, tell me. Also, if you guys are still watching, then thank you so much. Leave the code word monkey blueberries in the comments down below, and I will subscribe to you. And if you guys want me to make more school stories, also let me know. So I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye!